I talk to a ton of people that are Blue Moon fans and ask about the Blue Moon tap handles, and these are the ones that I normally will see or that I normally recommend for people. But one of the things with these is I did want to point out a couple of variations. So these ones, if I remember correctly, are their slightly older design. I think that the other style, there's a small one and a taller one. I believe that that's their newer one, but I'm never entirely sure if anybody actually does know. Let me know. But I did want to point out the variations between these two. So a lot of people, if they're thinking about the Blue Moon tap handle, this is the one that they're thinking about. This is the standard size for that Blue Moon tap handle, but there are a couple of variations between these two. First of all, you can have some sort of color variations depending upon exposure to light and stuff like that. So we'll set that aside a little bit. So there is a slight variation in the white color, but we kind of won't go into that into too much detail. There are a few things that you'll notice that are common to both of these. So if you look at both of these, you'll see that you've got that curving design on the top where it kind of curves in, then it curves out again, and you've got that design on both of them. If you're looking at the logo here, it's very similar. It looks like we do have a little bit of color variation there. It's also hard to tell if the size of the moon is different at all, but it looks like it's pretty much the same. So that's going to be almost identical. You'll also notice that kind of gold metallic, that you have that on both of the items. And then if we go down to the main portion of the tap handle, this is one of the items where you'll see a variation. So on this model of the tap, you'll notice that it says Blue Moon Brewing Co. And it says that on two sides, right like that. And it goes along the side, so it goes down. And then on this one, if I want to say that this is the older design out of these two. And with this one, you'll see that you just have that on the bottom there, and you've got it on two sides again. So that's actually kind of interesting that they only do it on two sides. With a lot of the three-sided items, they'll do it on three. But the notable thing here is that on here it goes along the side, here it's just down at the bottom. And then another thing that you'll notice as well is if you look at the bottom of the tap. So if you look at the bottom of the tap here, this is a flat element there. And then here you actually have this curved a little bit. And then with this, you'll notice that there is a little bit of an edge or a ridge there. When you're originally receiving these tap handles for this particular version, a lot of times there will be a plastic disc there. Sometimes people will leave that disc on, but you can actually remove that because that way it'll bring the depth a little bit closer. Otherwise, you need to make sure that you have a long enough thread depth there for it to go in. But I did want to show folks that variation in case it's something where you're thinking about picking up one of these tap handles, then you can see what that difference is.